I am your 2016 presidential candidate, Michelle Hope Walker. Welcome to 2016 presidential candidate, Michelle Hope Walker's Road to the White House series. I'm still here, you all. I'm still here with this great personality that I have. So, very excited. Very excited. Let me date this because you all know how I like to date the series, and so you all know which one you're watching on what date. So today is Friday, and it is June 10th, 2016. So it's Friday, June 10th, 2016. You all, a lot has happened since the last recorded series date. So, first of all, excited. I voted, and I went and I voted for me. The Los Angeles County Registrar, Recorder, County Clerk, you get a little sticker like this, and congratulations. So, it was awesome. But you know, Election Day was something else, you all. I'm telling you. I live by, I don't know how many election polls, meaning I live by a lot of election polls. But for whatever reason, I went to one, and then we realized that they had moved me to a election poll that was at least 4 or 5 blocks away. We're having an earthquake, you all, right now. I think it's stopped now. No, it's still shaking. Stopping a little bit. That was a big one, too, you all. You all know I'm out here in Los Angeles. We have earthquakes. Which that's sort of, I don't know if I've gotten so used to them that it was shaking and it didn't even really alarm me. But, okay, so it's passed over. So if you've seen the camera shaking, it wasn't me shaking it. We were having one of those LA, California earthquakes. Okay, but everything is okay. Thank God, because they keep saying one day we're going to have a big one. Keep saying one day we're going to have a big one. So thank God that was not the big one, because that would have been a live one that you would have heard or seen, you know, live with me. So, okay, so back to election. So my election polls had been closer to my house. And then all of a sudden, the election poll, where I voted got sent like 4 or 5 blocks away, okay? So I had to, shuffle over there. So that was interesting. I know a lot of people in Los Angeles were saying their names just dropped off the roll where they had to vote provisional. And we kept telling people, you don't want to vote provisional. Always remember, you want to strive not to. Now again, if that's the only way you can vote, go ahead and vote. But the thing about provisional ballots is that they are not always counted at the same time as the other ballots. A lot of times the provisional ballots might take more days to be counted after the first night count. And you can research and look it up and find out more of an understanding of provisional ballots. But always watch that one and say, oh, just vote provisional ballot, just vote provisional voting, And I noticed they kept scooting at each poll I was at, they kept scooting people towards provisional voting. So the first poll, the voting poll that I went to, they didn't have my name, but I didn't before when I was standing in line, before I realized they didn't have my name, people were saying that there are no more ballots. There were no more ballots. And I was like, so they were giving out people provisional ballots. I was like, no, you all do not want to vote provisional ballots. Y'all need to tell them they need to get a hold of some ballots and get you all some ballots here so y'all actually can vote. Now again, in the midst of this, you got some folks like, okay, well, just whatever. I'll just take the provisional, because when we go back to that 100%, I always tell y'all about, where 80% of people, they just listen and do whatever folks tell them. 20% of people stop and think and be like, well, wait a minute, and want to get more clarification and understanding of what's going on. Now, they still might vote provisional, but they at least will stop, listen, get some information on, what's all going on, And, then if they want to still decide to vote provisional, well, then that was fine. But there were a lot of people that were like, no, we want ballots. And I told them, y'all use them phones to talk about, well, she did this and he did that. But you get on that phone and you start social mediaing about it. They don't have no ballots at this particular polling place, And then I know online there was a lot of numbers people could call if stuff wasn't working right at their actual voting site, So that was it. But I was so happy when they did move me to a different one, because I was like, no, my vote has got to count. I'm running for president. The devil is a lie. That's a spiritual term, y'all. The devil is a lie, meaning that no, this is going to happen. We're not going to deal with any obstacles that's trying to stop this from happening, So like, the devil is a lie, and no, we're going to get some ballots up in here, But like I said, by the time I got up there in line, it's like, oh no, your voting poll place is down the street somewhere. So I had to hurry up and get over there to that. But I was so excited because, yes, I voted for me for president. I sure did. Woo-hoo! I voted for myself. I'll show you that picture in the future. My phone is like so tight with stuff. I got to delete some stuff to get my pictures up. But I took a picture and I was so excited. So, yes, I put in where it said office, United States America president, U.S. president, basically. And then I put my name, Michelle Hope Walker. I voted for me for president. I'm so, so excited. Woo! And so, and then I went ahead and voted on the rest of the down ballot, certain things, and we have to watch the judges, also, here's something for you all too. When you're going to vote, if you haven't done the research on certain things, sometimes it's better to not check anyone than to check someone you're not familiar with. So a lot of times it's better to not vote for neither one of them than to vote for someone that you're not familiar with, especially when it comes to judges. So you have to watch that too. And really, as they show one guy on talk about, he literally researched every name on the ballot. That is good too. I've done that myself at times, given the time, or either just rearranging the time to make sure that everybody's name on the ballot. And nowadays it's a little bit more easy. You can Google or Google search people's names and find out, a little bit about them. Now, don't always go on, like I told you all, when you're voting in Washington, D.C., you about to vote. Don't always go on these little ballot things that come in the mail. They try to say, well, we think you should vote for this person. No, because again, they have their own reasoning for why they want to vote for that person. That may not be the same reasoning for you. So, for example, for judges, I want to look at, how have they been on fairness and real justice in the courtroom, type thing. So you want to research that, because our vote does count and matter, and it makes a difference, especially in local elections. It really makes a difference. So, but yes, you all, I'm still in this pathway. I'm very, very excited. Still running for president. Wow, they said, actually, they started calling the election for Hillary the night before Election Day, which was so interesting. I was like, if that's not a brainwashing of society, that most definitely, and you have to watch that. Like I said, go online and research. Some things that say, you're like, oh, this is no research. If you don't believe me, you go Google and research yourself, or do some collegiate researching, with some educational journals, research it. Brainwashing of society. Now, that's what I call it, but some people, call it maybe using propaganda to get people to think a certain way. Like I tell you got to remember, we have a lot of media outlets, but you have to remember there's only a few people that own all of those outlets. And so they use that to push their message of how they want people to think. And so the night before the California primary and all the whole bunch of other states that were voting to, but they started declaring that Hillary had won. And we're like, no, she hasn't. No, she hasn't. No, you all know that, like I discussed, I've had to do some other paperwork for the general elections. I had to pick a vice president. And so I picked Bernie. Yes, I picked Bernie, to be the vice president. I know some people like, well, he's also running for president. Well, I'm like, okay, well, I still think you need to vote for me for president. I think I'm the best out of all the candidates running for president. But so also at the same time, we'll either be in competition with each other if he's the Democrat nominee. And then if not, he doesn't make it through that, well, he's running with me as vice president. So you still get some Bernie. You still get some Bernie with me being president. So, and so so I won't support Bernie's events when they come. Well, when I can, I do want to support him because he's my VP. So I won't support. I like his message. Pretty much is mine. But I go a little bit more in depth in detail on too though, about homeless and the poor. And you have to watch that because some people are not going in detail about the poor and homeless because they say in elections they like to cater to people who vote. And I'm like, well, the homeless and the poor do vote. And then I also encourage the poor and the homeless and low income to vote even more so that your voice is heard. Don't get caught up in that theory of, oh, it's not going to matter. It does matter because they're looking to see if you vote, and if you don't vote, then they're not paying too much attention to what you have to say because they're like, you don't vote anyway. So make sure you vote. But anyway, so I went to the primary on primary night, which here in California, it was June 7th. Went there, and it was a blessing to hear him speak and hear that he was saying he was not gonna give up. Because really, even with me running for president, everybody's running for, the only thing we've been asking for is fairness. I can't be too happy about Hillary saying, and I really don't feel like she's really won. But again, that's that brainwashing that they feel like if they just keep saying it enough, it's like a song. When you first hear a song, you may not really like it, but after they play it 100 times, you're like, oh, wow, I think I like this song now. Well, you've been forced to like the song. They played the song so many times that it's even a brain psychological type thing, and they did. And keep in mind, they do studies on the brain. They do sociology type studies, psychological type studies on how to coerce people and get people to like something. So remember, this is not some people just throw out. This is research that has been done to try to brainwash people, to get people to think a certain way. So I'm guessing they were thinking that if they kept telling us Hillary has won so many times, that we'll be brainwashed enough to say, oh, Hillary won. And a lot of people were brainwashed to say Hillary has not won because we have not even had the Democratic convention. You know what I'm saying? So remember now, I'm running for president as an independent, but I am a Democrat. But I decided to run for president as an independent because I didn't want to have to deal with the corrupt political bosses, which you've seen Bernie has had to deal with. They have their chosen one that they want, and so they treat the other candidates very unfair because they want to get their chosen one through. So, Hillary has not won yet. And even if she does win the Democratic nomination, it's hard for me to rejoice in it because she didn't do it fairly. Yes, I'm glad to see, us women progressing and all that, but I want to see us get it fairly. When I say she didn't get it fairly, because they did tricks, they turned tricks, they done all kind of little different stuff to make things go in her favor. They didn't spend a lot of money to brainwash society. So to me, it's not an open and fair one. And that's what we've been wanting, is fair elections, where all of the candidates get airtime. I know in Michael Moore's book, he talks about how one country, airtime is free. All the candidates running, they get a chance to, be on air, and the public gets a chance to know about all the candidates running. And, now that's fairness. You know what I'm saying? Not just catering things to whoever owns the media wants to win. So because again, you gotta look, Google, and find out who owns the different medias. What is their ideology? Who were they for president? And you will find out that person got more media coverage, more positive media coverage. And again, the media coverage, why it can be important, is to help the masses of people know who's running for president. So they have particularly just chosen not to cover me, which again, I know I'm a big threat to a lot of them. Not a violent threat. I don't say threat that way because I know I'm black. Gotta watch what I say up on here because people, they already nitpick. Oh, what can we see them say something wrong so we can blame them for something? So no, I'm talking about a violent threat, but I'm talking about the threat in the sense that I'm a black woman. I know about the struggle. I ain't gotta act like, oh God, I've been so sad. I don't have to do all that. Because I've really been through some struggle. Because you see all the candidates, they try to talk about, oh, I had a hard time growing up. That's part of their platform, is to be in a contest to try to prove who had it the hardest, And a lot of times it's fake and it's not real, and they haven't had a hard time at all. But they just want to try to put that off to the American people, because they know most of the 90%, 99% of us have had challenges. And so they got to some way try to make themselves seem like they're part of the 99% when really they're part of the 1% that has majority of the money in society. And so it's been interesting, and so it's hard for me to be happy for her, one, because she hasn't won yet, two, because even if she does win the Democratic nomination, it wasn't fair. Even in Obama's thing where they talk about Obama endorsed Hillary, you really got to listen to what's being said. And you got to listen to the detail, not listen in a way where you're allowing TV and different media forms to brainwash you, but listening to detail and with critique. So I noticed, and if you go online, there's a good video online that talks about how they use TV to brainwash folks and different things like that. And again, it goes into the details of when you are watching TV, how to watch it, where you're actually, it's like a more of a analyzing, versus just allowing that, them waves to just media, waves and forms to date your brain and brainwash you. But anyway, so, she just didn't win it, fairly, and that's the key thing. And so she hasn't won yet, and if she does, it's like she didn't do it. So she didn't win it fairly. So like Obama happened to mention, even in his video of endorsing her now, he talked about, oh, and I know she's a good debater because I had to debate her over 20 times. Ding, ding, bingo. Remember how Bernie kept saying, let's debate some more. Let's debate some more. They originally, I think, only scheduled 6 debates, or maybe less than that, with Democratic debates. And then Bernie started asking for more. I think then we got a little bit more. But Obama basically was letting us know that he debated when he ran against Hillary for president in 2008, close to 20 times, or as he said, or over 20 times. Interesting. So Hillary felt like it was okay to debate and required and demanded that she have all these debates with Obama when she was running for president with him. But when now she's running for president, she wanted to limit the number of debates. You can have, matter of fact, you're supposed to have a debate in California, but Hillary didn't want, she opted out. She didn't want to do it. So she only did what she did under, I think it was maybe under 10 debates. I don't even know if it was even close to 10 debates. So that was interesting, but with Obama, she did, and, I understand Obama's position. Everybody's scared of Trump. So everybody is trying to, it's not like they like Hillary either, at least the policies. Again, like her as a person, but I'm just talking about, her policy and different things. She has done some good things, but I don't think she needs to be president. Actually, you need to vote for me, Michelle Hope Walker, for president. I understand his position. He went against her. He won. Hillary kept feeling like she was cheated by Obama winning. And so basically everybody had agreed that Hillary got next. But I don't think that's fair because they don't have the American people in mind. They just doing their political game of, well, I did it and so now it's your turn. You went through all that. Now, but that's not right or fair because I'm like, you cannot force Hillary on the American people. If we don't want Hillary for president, you all cannot force Hillary on us. Look at the Santa Monica newspaper. As I was at the Bernie event, they interviewed me about, what was going on. So if you Google my name, Michelle Hope Walker, you'll see it in there. I'm just like, you can't force, and I'm like, at the convention, we need to stand up. We need to be like the Chicago 1968 Democratic Convention when it was like, no, we want who we want. And they shut it down. They shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Now, they didn't totally shut it down in the way that we need to really shut it down. And when I say shut it down, I'm not saying being violent. I'm not saying not letting the process go through. But what I'm saying is making sure the process is fair. So a whole bunch of folks there, eyes on it, making sure the process is fair, because they've done a lot of unfair things, and they know they've done a lot of unfair things. And the thing that gets me is they think that we're dumb, and they'll come back and say, well, no, this is how it goes. And again, we have 80% of folks that believe whatever is said to them, so they, get brainwashed and believe that, but the 20% of us, we like, no, you're lying. You're lying, sir. You're lying, ma'am. You didn't know. You all are lying, So, yeah, and if you want to vote a woman for president, then all come and support me. I'm a woman, and then I'm an African-American woman, and, I'm part of the 99%. So, hey, you're getting a lot. You're getting a lot. And I believe that we need to have all kind of different people on these different committees. I was looking at the different committees, under the presidency and just the committees overall, in America, in Washington, different things like that. And I was like, we need to have more of the 99% on those committees. And I'm looking at a lot of the same people on these committees. A lot of the same people, 1%. And that's what I'm saying. We keep the 99% asking them, the 1%, to do certain things for us or to see certain points. But that's what I'm saying, you all. They're not going to see it because they haven't been there. They don't understand it. So again, vote for me, Michelle Hope Walker, for president. I'm telling you all, if we're going to make a change, this is the time to do it. I'm really saying this is the time to do it. This is the time to stand it. We've been marching for about 2 to 3 years now. This is the time. We have been making some stands. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. I know some of you are scared of Trump, but I keep telling y'all better be concerned about that Hillary. I'm telling y'all. Or as Trump called her, crooked Hillary. I do agree with Trump on that. And I know, bless Bernie Hart, he's being pressured where they're saying, well, Bernie, don't talk too bad about Hillary. And again, nobody's attacking Hillary really personally, except I just feel that her and Bill Clinton need to claim Danny Williams, Bill Clinton's son, African-American son. I personally, on that level, I think they need to do that, because you say you love black people, well, you got a black son that you won't claim. What is that saying? If you won't claim your own family of black people, I'm like, black people, wake up. And black people, I don't even understand y'all. I'm like, I don't understand y'all. All I can think of is a lot of folks, especially quote unquote what we call political leaders in the black community, either they're getting paid off, Hillary and that corrupt political machine, and promise some folks some money, because they know she be lying too, but they got promised some money. And so, that's what they do. They pay off the black leaders to try to brainwash the rest of us. This is the person you vote for, And then they try to put Bernie off on saying that Bernie didn't have a lot of black followers, but that's not true. He did have a lot of black followers. He does have a lot of black followers. And it's just that, I don't know, people got to think. People got to think and not be brainwashed by the media or even your leaders. I mean, I respect our black leaders, but at the end of the day, I'm going to make the decisions for me. I'm running for president. And some of them may look at me like, how are you running? I don't care. And what amazes me is for them to look at us funny, upcoming leaders, funny, and turn their nose up. And when they once were us, where they were trying to get their message out and standing up, to me is amazing. Because I'm like, you ought to be supportive of me, regardless if you agree with me or not. You ought to be supportive and cheering me on. And you know what? That's good. You want to run for president? You go ahead and do that thing and you run, Michelle Walker. And don't get me wrong, I have had some great, well-known leaders to back me and say, that's a good job, encourage me. And so I do like that. Thank you. I appreciate that, But, and I know maybe they're looking at, well, she did do this and Hillary did do that. And again, thank you, Hillary, for past stuff that you have done. But I just really don't think she needs to be the one for president. I'd encourage you to vote for me. It's just not, I do like Bernie's message. And I was reading something where they tried to call Bernie's message the white angry man message. I don't believe that. When you go to Bernie's stuff, everybody's loving and kind. It's like my presidency is going to be. We're going to love each other. We're going to be kind. A lot of that killing and murdering and stop, but we just will respect each other and value each other. Quit letting people's value be based on how much money they have. No, we're all human. We're all valuable. But you know what? They make money off of that. Because how are they going to get you to buy that Benz and that Mercedes unless they try to make you feel like you are nothing without the Mercedes and the Benz? You know, look at the Maslow pyramid. You know, everybody wants a sense of belonging. Everybody wants it. So they play on that. And it's sad that they will play on people's intellect and mind to get them to spend money. But yes, they do it all the time. So, you know, yes, you know, I love to see women progress, and I'm a woman. You know, so again, you want a woman for president? Come on and cheer me on then. But I'm going to tell you what I've been dealing with, which I say is the number one issue, is race. Racism. Because even before I open my mouth and a person even know about my political background or education, just the whole point that I'm a black woman with natural hair, and part of the 99% is just like, you know, I'm like, really? Well, that just has showed me how racist you are. You know, because you didn't know anything about me, but just based on a look, you already have counted me out. That's interesting. So again, remember that this show, 2016 presidential candidate Michelle Hope Walker's Road to the White House series, also is journalizing, publicly journalizing, an African-American female of the 99% running for president. The hurdles, let's talk about the ups, the downs, the challenges. So it's almost like a case study, a literal case study, research of looking at the challenges and how I am being treated as a presidential candidate. All right, so Washington, D.C., you all are up next. I need you all to vote for me. Write my name on that ballot. You take that pen with you, and when you go in there, you write office, U.S. President, you write Michelle Hope Walker. 3 names, Michelle Hope Walker. You have the right to vote for who you want to. Don't let them try to belittle and put your vote in a box. Say, no, you can only vote for these people. No, you can vote for whoever you want to. You can write in whoever you want to. They cannot stop you from voting for who you want to vote for. Take that stand. Don't be afraid. And a lot of people have voted for me, and I thank you. All of you all have stood up and have voted for me. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Because it's letting me know that you have decided I am not going to let them brainwash me, try and tell me who looks like they're the best presidential candidate, who has this to be the best president, which actually all it is again, a brainwashing of them to try to, of you, them brainwashing you to vote for who they want you to vote for. And the whole time it's been Hillary. Sometimes I wonder if actually Hillary and Trump, this whole Hillary and Trump thing is actually a game. Did they actually have Trump end up being the Republican nomination so Hillary can win? I mean, you know what? You just don't know. I'm telling you, you just do not know. These folks be doing some stuff. So that's why sometimes people be talking, I just be quiet. And I'll be listening. And I'll be watching. Because I'm telling you, nothing is surprising on what folks do. Nothing is surprising. So let me give you my social media stuff. So you can tweet me at Hope_speaks. Hope_speaks. You can Facebook me, and I do a lot of my put a lot of information out there on Facebook. You go to Michelle Hope Walker Speaks Listen. Michelle Hope Walker Speaks Listen. And YouTube, please go to YouTube. Watch all my wonderful videos. Watch the other 2016 presidential candidate Michelle Hope Walker's Road to the White House series videos, because I can't talk about everything in 130 minutes. So you have to watch a lot of the past videos to really get the understanding of some of the things I'm talking about and my persona and persona, where I'm coming from, basically. So go to youtube.com, put in Michelle Hope Walker Speaks, and then you can just always call me, 323-338-6580, 323-338-6580. And you can call or text me. So, wrapping it up, again, vote for me, Michelle Hope Walker, for United States of America President. I'm staying in this thing to the long haul. You also stay tuned to all and watch all of the video series. It's getting interesting. This stuff is just getting interesting, what these folks is doing. Stay educated. know what you're doing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Don't just listen to what somebody says, but do your own research too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm your 2016 presidential candidate, Michelle Hope Walker, and you have been watching 2016 presidential candidate Michelle Hope Walker's Road to the White House series. And today is June 10th, 2016, and it is Friday. God bless.